Good. A little low, about to fall out. I got you. So right there, good. That's perfect.
All right, Coach. 4 games into the season, 4 wins. How have you evaluated the team so far? About a third of the way through non-conference.
A long way to go, but our team is changed a little bit with Will's situation. So we're doing some more evaluating, trying to figure out who can step up and where we can get those minutes that we lost with him. And so would love to be a little better defensively. Not that we're not where we're going on our way to being. I mean, not that we're not on our way to being good defensively, but I just like to take some giant steps there in the next few weeks. So.
Do you feel like going forward it'll be Devin probably in Will's spot?
Don't know. That's something that we'll decide in practice and figure out. Who steps up in practice and who shows me that they really want to step up and take that spot. Um, there's a lot of options. The options might be a smaller guy. Like Caden Cooper leads us in rebounding. I mean, he's a physically tough guy, even though his stature is only about 6'5". And so all options are on the table right now. I don't really know which way we're going to go.
With Will, I mean, he had a successful surgery. One, how is he doing? How's the team reacted to such an injury like that and everything?
It hurt. They were hurt for him. He's such a lovable kid, likable kid, and just that he has to go through it and miss a year. We always talk about opportunity and season opportunity, and I think he's an example that it could be taken away from you in an instant. So he's doing well. He had surgery yesterday. His mom is with him and his sister is with him. So he's in good spirits right now. We're just looking for a good recovery out of him.
And basketball side of things, how big of a loss is that? And what did he provide, obviously, for you guys that now you guys need to, like you said, you don't really know who's going to step it up for you guys, but to replace such a presence like him?
No doubt, he's a huge loss. Like spirit wise, I mean, he was our life. You could hear him talking on the court. You could hear him talking in huddles. And then statistically, I mean, he already put up one double this year at UTA. He could rebound the ball. He kind of took some of that load off of Bacho as far as helping us rebound. So we got a lot of production we have to replace. He was making threes. Like he was helping us from the 3-point line and stretching the defense. So it's going to be a huge deal to replace him. But at the end of the day, we got to find somebody to do it.
Feels like these Thanksgiving week classics or showcases have become more popular over the years. I guess as a coach, what do you like about these showcases? Just to kind of see multiple opponents in kind of a short span of time, I guess.
It prepares you for conference tournament play, and you get to play 3 games in 3 days. And usually, if you're going to win a conference tournament, it's going to be some format of that nature. And so, kind of gives you a chance to learn how to scout. Not only play the games, but scout the games, turn around a game to the next game, and kind of just mentally prepare for playing 3 games in 3 days. So we're looking forward to it, looking forward to the trip and playing 3 tough opponents and preparing us for conference.
I was going to say, it seems like defensively they're all, at least early on, they're pretty elite defensively. I guess maybe talk about specifically what you feel like each matchup's going to present for you guys.
We're only focused on the first one, but I think all 3 teams are really good teams. I thought when we joined the tournament that the field was really good and it would challenge us. We weren't able to get some of the Power 5 games or Power 4 games this year, so we had to find a way to fill our roster and get a tough enough schedule that can challenge us before we got to January. And so that was kind of the thought on it. And so when we got Southern Illinois and Richmond and Eastern Kentucky, those were 3 really good teams, and they proved to show that this at the start of this year.
You have 3 guys averaging over 10. Obviously, Daniel's averaging over 20. You think that's kind of how it's going to be the all season, or you want more guys kind of stepping up in that scoring?
I hope so. I hope that we can spread the scoring around. I think the beauty of our first couple wins, we had multiple guys scoring in double figures, and we were kind of hard to guard. And we've actually ahead of where I thought we would be offensively at this point. And I think we can get better in that area. I think we can get better at our ball movement, even though it's been pretty good. I just want the defense to catch up to where we're at, because it's the other way around. Usually your defense is good and you can't score points. But we have a couple guys that can put the ball in the basket, and we have some athleticism that we can get offensive rebound and putbacks. And then we have Daniel and Amari, who are really on fire at the start of the year. So.
I remember that opener you said you felt like that wasn't the Amari that was going to be throughout this season. I guess what do you feel like has clicked maybe over the last couple of weeks here?
I knew it was in there, just pressing. He hadn't really played a bunch of games in 2 years, and so he had natural ability. He averaged almost double figures at Ole Miss. I knew he was going to be able to score the ball. It was just kind of shaking the old stuff off of him, and then he got in his groove at UTA, and he started feeling it the second half, and since then he's kind of been on a tear. And so even though he didn't score, I think he scored about 13 last game, that's all we needed at the point. Bacho was Bacho, and the game plan was to go and punish them inside because of their size, and that's what we did. And so now I think we're going to get back to, other teams aren't going to let us punch the ball into Bacho and score 38, so it's going to be more spread out.
You got a pretty old team, a lot of juniors, a couple seniors sprinkled in there. What have you seen maybe from the offseason up through now, the beginning of the season, that these guys kind of want to make a true mark this season that's maybe different from last couple of years?
It's really different. I was just talking about that earlier. Like, I don't think some of these kids even know because we're in the portal era. So it's not like I only have a couple kids that were here through all of that. And I think it's more like gelling and becoming the best we can be. Because, we was talking, somebody mentioned unfinished business. Yeah, to us, me and Sean and the assistant coaches and Bacho and Will and Devin and Jordan Crawley, like, yeah, it's unfinished business to us. But for 7 other guys, they don't even know what business we're talking about. And so we just want to be the best version of us. And for a lot of those guys, that means proving that they should have maybe played at the last spot, proving that they are good enough to be back on a college court and being really good. And so I think that's the chip on those guys' shoulder because they're finally getting to prove that they belong, and that they are the good players that people thought they were. And then you mix that, and my job is to gel it all together, put the unfinished business with the guys who are trying to prove that they belong. And I think we've got a pretty good mix of some animosity in there to make us, drive us forward and push us forward. And so that's where we're at now.
Sean obviously leads, the nation in assists per game. I know we look at the gaudy numbers and they're great. I guess maybe from a day-to-day coaching staff perspective, I guess what does he do that makes him just such the leader that you guys knew that he was going to be?
He just knows how to play. I was asked earlier, do I ever tell him to shoot more? I say I live with whatever decision he makes because he usually doesn't make wrong decisions. He takes what the defense gives him. And that's all you try to teach any basketball player to do. If they play him to score, then he's going to pass the ball. I was told a long time ago it's easy to evaluate talent. The guys who shoot when they're supposed to shoot and pass when they're supposed to pass. Most people don't do that. It's very simple, but a lot of people want to shoot when they're not supposed to shoot because they just want to shoot. And a lot of kids pass because they can't shoot. But most people don't just do it because it's the right thing to do, and that's how he does. I've been singing his praises for a long time. I think this year he just has more weapons around, and we relied on a couple guys last year, and they did a lot of scoring for us. They were really good for us, but they got their points in different ways. Isaiah was a multiple bounce dribble guy. Like, he dribbled into some of his points. We would just get him the ball, and he would work his way, which aren't assists, but it was Sean getting the ball to the right place. And this year it's more like, we got guys that can catch and shoot. We got Bacho at the rim. So when Sean makes plays, it's making them to direct scoring.
From a coach's perspective, how fun is it to be around Daniel all the time and just his leadership? And then from just a coach, obviously, I know how you're going to answer this anyway, but would you trade him for the other players in the country right now?
No. But no, he's hilarious. If you've ever spent any time with him, he's a jokester. He's funny. And then you add his accent on the jokes. It is hilarious. But he's a really good guy to be around, fun guy to be around. What I try to challenge him to do is, think bigger than Louisiana Tech, think bigger than Conference USA. Our goal is to be one of the best bigs in the country. And that's what we challenge him for, and that's what we push him for every day. And I know some days being young, he doesn't understand. He's like, Coach, I just had 38 and 8. I was like, but that ain't what we're going for. And at the end of the day, that 38 and 8 is good, but we want better. And so we're just going to keep pushing him and see if we can maximize his ceiling and try to reach all the way to it if we can. And then when he leaves here, hopefully he can go do some special things and represent us in the right way.
What did you think of his three-point form?
He's been begging me to shoot him all summer. I promise you I was going to let him shoot one sooner or later. I didn't know it'd be that game. Matter of fact, I kind of got on him in practice because he took a jumper and he didn't need to. I was like, you're killing him inside. Just keep going inside. So when he hit the three, he kind of looked at me. And so, he can shoot the ball better than people think. But, I've always come to philosophy, why stand out there and shoot when you can get anything you want at the rim? So you might see more coming.
All right. Thanks, Coach.
Thank you.